Katia, welcome. I'm so glad to have
Hey,
you here. You are one of the oldest friend I have in the whole world. You're a friend of mine since we were 15, I believe. 15, 16. And yeah, we met in Moscow and started our journey in fashion together. We studied with the same tutor for fashion design. Welcome here. I would love you to maybe introduce yourself, say a few words about you, and maybe reflect on how we met for the first time, if you remember. I really don't remember how we met for the first time, but if you remember some moments of our first couple of years of connection.
yeah, thank you, Natalia, for having me. I also want to celebrate you with your birthday. You're one of my closest and dearest people, and I'm really happy to be with you together right now. I think we've met during like some drawing sessions or something, and that was the moment when we were both passionate about fashion, about beauty. And I think through years of our communication, our understanding of beauty has changed really a lot. Um,
Yeah, for sure. I remember uh, I remember your style from that time. Um, I remember how unique and elevated it was. It was minimalist and subtle colors, and it was like long hair, and you felt as young as you feel to me now, and at the same time as wise as you feel to me now. Very calm, externally at least. You felt very calm, very balanced, and it was always an inspiration. You and I and Maria, who's another friend of ours, who will hopefully come to the podcast at some point soon as well, we had this power of three friendship, and then we went to London together to study on the foundation program. So you were so different because Maria was like very outspoken and just like like the star always like that, and you were more of like internally like connected and put together and very different, and I felt always that both of you are representing sides of me, and I always was like, I understand Maria and also I understand you, and I've always been like in this mediatorship role between you and her, um, because I really felt that you were extremely wise from the start. Maybe you can share a little bit about your kind of like becoming, on why you chose fashion to study, and how did you go about like your thinking process on kind of selecting your career at that point.
yeah, yeah. Maria is also a friend of ours, extremely talented person. I hope we could have her here. And about fashion, I think I was fascinated. I come from Eastern European culture, and I was fascinated by notion of beauty since I was a little kid. I was putting makeup on my grandma's, and and I think that fashion was what excited me. I also had some friends, some mom's friends, who worked for some fashion magazines,
Wow.
um, and I started just drawing, just researching like fashion trends and fashion shows, and I loved like making collages, and I think that's how I started doing that. But with time, when I started working in industry,
Yeah.
I saw a lot of different sides to fashion, and I still think there are a lot of questionable topics like sustainability, body standards, like healthy standards to how we perceive our body, its influence on like little women, little girls, and I think it's great that a lot of companies are becoming more aware of their social impact And I personally started thinking about beauty more, more about its connection with nutrition, with psychology, and in my own personal life, started working more on that things rather than external beauty. Um, and I feel in like some Eastern European countries, it's like a big thing, you know, and a lot of, I think, pressure on how women are looking.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't, I don't know if you feel that way or not.
Totally. Yes. Yes. Pressure is the right word. Because I immigrated out of Eastern Europe to the US, where pressure wasn't felt so hard, so deep. But then I came back here and I am realizing how far away from the beauty standards and the, the lips and the makeup and like the way that the hair is styled and the way that, you have to wear like same earrings in order to be perceived as sane and not like creative, like artist. And people ask me when I go around, the city here, people ask me, are you a hippie? And I'm like, no, are you? Would you like to talk about chakras and spirituality? And are you
Yeah.
vegan? So they, the perception is so specific in our area about like how a woman should be in order to be like a part of society. But I really hope it's changing. I wonder, like, are you on social media? I never asked you. I haven't asked you in a while. I remember how I was promoting Instagram to you back in 2013.
Yeah.
But are you on social media these days? Like, what are you doing online?
No, not really. But
Wow.
yeah, it's true. You were always the person um, who showed me the apps
Yeah,
before they became big thing.
yeah. Yeah. But you never really were excited about it. You're like, yes, yes, I registered. But you're not using it. So what do you
Yeah.
do with your days? Like how where do you get inspiration from? Where do you get information from?
Well, recently I started listening to more audiobooks,
Yeah.
so that's how I like to spend my time while I'm cooking, for example,
Yeah.
or doing some things in the city. Um, but generally, I'm very inspired by nutrition, by psychology, and I love researching that in my free time.
Yeah, yeah. Like, and you said nutrition so many times. So like, get there. We'll get there. Uh,
Uh,
Look, nutrition to me is such a mystery topic. Because I've never been good in chemistry, never had like good teachers in chemistry, so I always was like, no, it's some kind of magic. I don't really believe in that at that point. I'm like, I don't know how it really works. I don't know if it's true or it's made up. But I would love to hear your story on how you got deeper into nutrition and what inspired you to move towards that direction and how are you applying this knowledge now in your life?
yeah, nutrition is a big mystery for me as well. So what I'm sharing is just my personal experience. I'm not a medical doctor or professional. Um, and well, my personal story comes with my own struggle with anxiety, and I'm very open about that. And I've been trying different types of things to help myself, like therapy, and of course, it works and has like good results. But at some point, I decided to uh, do more research and try to work with my nutrition, and I actually found a naturopath who was supporting me on my journey,
Mm-hmm.
and then I found a group of people who were also interested in that, and that was a big help in changing my diet, because I feel that when you're on your own and there is no support group, it's difficult to change
Yeah.
some habits. Yeah, and yeah, so for 2 years I changed some products to more healthier ones, and the improvement was really, for me, it was dramatic. I was very, very much surprised, and even more surprised why the medical system kind of, it seems for me it ignores the nutritional aspect. If you go to psychologist, rarely the doctor would ask you, what are you eating?
Yeah, yeah.
And the term nutritional psychologist, I think it only appears in few articles. It's not a profession right now, only a few master programs, but there are very, very few of them. So that's how it happened for me.
How did you find the right group to be part of? Was it an in-person group or was it online group of people, like in the chat? And how did you start interacting with them? Did you feel comfortable? What kind of questions that you raised? Was it like a group therapy?
No, it was not a group therapy. I started doing some online courses, and then you get introduced to chats. But some of the people, they lived in my city, so we could meet. And some of the people are like living in different countries, but still we spoke over phone. And yeah, so I feel that was very important at some point, and I'm very grateful for the support of people who were willing to share their advice.
Yeah, yeah. Without people, without these like groups, I think without the community around certain issues that interest us or these topics, we wouldn't be like shaping ourselves so powerfully. Uh, because like teachers and leaders are great, but you have to also have this like real life experience sharing on how people are applying their knowledge into their life and sharing what works for them, what doesn't, so that there's like this collective building and curation happening on really like the most effective ways. Yeah, and what did you try with your nutrition kind of like discovery journey, and what worked for you so far?
So I tried different diets. I'm just gonna share what worked for me, and I'm sure it's different for different people.
Yeah.
And at first, I went on um, at first I went on a vegan diet, but I ended up sticking to medical medium. So medical medium is a guy. He's from US, and he has around like 6 books, and he's the originator of celery juice movement. Um, yeah, so basically, you can find a lot of information about him on the internet. So I started applying his advice, basically just eating more fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, leafy green, applying some like supplements, and my diet, it wasn't perfect. I wasn't even like 100% following what he says, but still it helped a lot. In 2 years I didn't have immediate result, because I know people who started following his diet, like in 2-3 months they are saying, oh, my anxiety is like really improved,
Wow.
and
Okay.
my depression has improved. But for me, after 6 months, after 1 year, I thought, well, there is some improvement, but the biggest improvement went maybe after 2 years.
Wow.
But I also did a lot of experimenting, and a lot of took a lot of advice from people who were experienced, which also helped a lot.
With 2 years of committed work on yourself in terms of nutrition, following like one person's advice, that's quite interesting because like you really trusted his ways. So the question is like what you felt was true about what he was saying. Like what was he saying that was different from maybe other nutritionists, or what did you feel connected with? What kind of like brought you to his methods?
Yeah, honestly speaking, at first I had some questions. I wasn't sure immediately, but I started researching other nutritionists, some science-based, dietitians, and I found that a lot of advice is very much similar.
Okay.
And then I started kind of talking to people who have healed themselves using this system. And when I knew personally people who have improved so significantly, maybe that's how my trust have developed. And then it just started helping me at some point, and I understand that maybe that's what I want to stick to if it's working.
Yeah, makes sense. What is your diet like today, these days? Like, what are you avoiding versus what are you enjoying? Where you live now, is it easy for you to find healthy products? Like, how's your lifestyle changed since you moved out of, Moscow? And like what are you eating these days? Yeah.
Yeah, my diet is not like perfect right now. I have just moved to Tbilisi, and just a few words that it's such an amazing place and a lot of like places to visit and events to go. And Georgian people are extremely friendly, hospitable, and warm, and just really nice place to be here, and also beautiful nature. So I recommend Tbilisi.
Yay. Me
It's
too. Me too. I feel you. I love the place.
Yeah. So what I use for medical medium is celery juice. So I start the morning with taking lemon water. So drink maybe half a liter or liter of just lemon water.
Wow. How much lemon do you put in the half a liter?
I would put half a lemon, but it really depends on lemons because some
Okay.
are more sweet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, and then celery juice. Um, it's like super healthy and nutritious. I think I won't be able even to say all the benefits about that. Then I would do so it's called heavy metal detox smoothie. It's like blueberries, bananas, oranges, and some greens. And you mix it, and it's super good for your brain. There's also spirulina.
Nice.
Um, yeah.
Good, good. And that's
But
every day? Like that smoothie also goes every day as the lemon juice and celery?
well, no, right now not. I'm trying to order what to figure out here how to make it, where to find
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
blueberries. But generally, usually in Moscow, I used to take it every day
Mm.
and stick to fruits in the morning and maybe have some cooked meal in the evening, like maybe like cooked potato with avocado and something like that. And during the day, just have one big green salad. And honestly speaking, I don't like eating salads, but I use dressings. Like maybe if you mix some uh, if you blend some nuts with water,
Wow.
it is a yeah, it's super tasty sauce. Or if you put some honey with orange, it's also very simple and tasty sauce.
Cool, cool.
Or I would just make a juice, and I would juice just leafy greens, for example, spinach, and add a little bit of orange and ginger, and that's how I try to eat this, portion of leafy greens a day.
So it's just leafy greens, no more, no other vegetables in that salad? Like potato or like tomatoes or cucumbers?
No, I would add potatoes, cucumbers, of course.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, just a typical vegetable salad
Got it.
with.
Yeah. No oils? What about oils? Because out of all the oils I heard was like, okay, some nuts, I guess, are more oily, I'm imagining, and avocado. Any more oils? Like, because there's so much diversity of oils these days.
Yeah, I personally have at home like just coconut oil.
Mm-hmm.
I don't use them too much, but I think coconut, maybe avocado oil,
Mm-hmm.
maybe some hemp, hemp
Mm-hmm.
seed oil.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. Yeah, look, I've always been inspired by the way you see food. since you got really interested in that aspect of life, I was always learning from you so much, from what you shared, from observing you in restaurants, and how you like order certain things. Always like remember that, like, wow, this is new for me. This is cool. Thank you for sharing this knowledge, and how this affects our mental health, our emotional health, and energetic and physical. It's all so connected. And how are you feeling now? Like, it's been, about what, 5 months since you moved. Um, do you feel like you're in the right space? Like, it's more of like an overall question, energetic question. Do you feel
Mhm.
you're in a balanced space right now?
Yeah, I'm still settling in. I'm
Mm-hmm.
a little bit moving from flat to flat
Oh
right
yeah.
now. But generally, yeah, I'm super positive about Tbilisi, and I'm super happy that I have moved here.
Good.
Um,
Yeah. I miss you here in Moscow, though.
Thank you. I miss seeing you.
Okay, look, it's episode one of our connection. We'll keep it sweet and short, but I would like to keep coming back to you and exploring more questions about healthy lifestyle, nutrition, internal and external balance, friendships, development, loyalty, aesthetics, beauty, culture, all these topics I'd like to explore with you further as we connect in this public realm. Because with conversations with you are always interesting for me because from my perspective, you ask amazing questions. So I'm learning from you to ask very good questions as well. So yes, thank you so much for your time, for your energy, for sharing with me and with us what you've shared. So I guess until next time. If there's anything else you'd like to just drop before we end the recording, let me know. Any
No,
advice?
I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for being with me, and thank you for being such a great friend who was
Okay.
always open to all my experiments and being such a support.
Same,
I,
reflecting.
I admire you.
I admire you as well, Katya. Спасибо. Thank you so much. All right. Goodbye, everyone.